All right, good afternoon. I'm Bob Gualtieri, Pinellas County Sheriff. We're here today to talk about the arrest of Andrew Spark. Spark is a 54-year-old male who is a lawyer in Tampa. He's the proprietor, I guess, of the Spark Law Group on West Linebaugh Avenue. He's also a former Assistant Attorney General in the state of Florida who worked for the Attorney General's office from 2004 to 2011. Where he did, as I understand it, consumer protection and racketeering litigation. Spark worked for the former Attorney General for 7 years and for Attorney General Pam Bondi for 7 months before leaving while under investigation. From what we know, he's operated his law firm in Tampa since leaving the Attorney General's office. In late November of this year, we received information that Spark was using his status as a lawyer to meet in person with female inmates in the Pinellas County Jail and have taped video sex with the inmates for a fee. Now, at the jail, we generally don't allow in-person visitation, but there are exceptions made for lawyers and other professional visitors. We also have a policy where we don't allow cell phones, tablets, computers, and other electronic devices in the jail. And that includes employees who are prohibited from bringing those devices into the secure portion of the jail. But for lawyers and other professional visitors, we do extend them the privilege of bringing in tablets and these other electronic devices so that they can be efficient in their representation of their clients. We learned through our investigation that Shauna Boselli, B-O-S-E-L-L-I, and her husband, Richmond McDonald, had been booked into the Pinellas County Jail earlier this year by the United States Marshal Service, and they had been charged in federal court with child pornography and other similar violations. Boselli had been sentenced to 40 years in federal prison, and McDonald had been sentenced to life in prison for having sex and engaging in the making of porn with a 7-year-old. Boselli and McDonald were both involved, apparently for a period of time, in making pornography videos, and they met Andrew Spark about 2 years ago at what has been described as a porn convention in Tampa. Spark wanted to make a porn video with Boselli, but from what we understand, they couldn't agree on a price, and over an extended period of time, there were continued contacts and communications between Spark and Boselli at various porn conventions in Tampa. They continued to try and negotiate terms, come to a price where Spark would engage in this pornography with Boselli, but again, they couldn't come to terms, so it never happened. Their last contact between Boselli and Spark was in about December of 2016, so about a year ago. Boselli has been in the Pinellas County Jail since June of 2017, again on the federal child pornography charges. On November 25th of this year, so just under a month ago, Spark used his privileges as a lawyer and met with Boselli in a private room at the jail. Now, Spark had never represented Boselli in her federal criminal case or at any other time. So he really duped the system by gaining access to Boselli at the jail because he shouldn't have had access to her. He wasn't her lawyer, he wasn't representing her, but as an attorney, he's given the courtesy of being able to go into the jail to meet with clients, and so he duped the system. According to what we know, Boselli was surprised to see Spark because, again, he wasn't representing her, and he had not had any contact with her since December 2016 at the porn convention in Tampa. Spark told Boselli when he met with her in November, a few weeks ago, that he was preparing porn videos of female inmates performing oral sex on him from within the jails, and in exchange he puts money in the inmate's account. He asked Boselli to participate in the sex videos. On the day that Spark visited Boselli, he told her he had just visited another inmate in the Pinellas County Jail by the name of Rose, and that she performed videotaped sex with him for money. Boselli, on that day, declined to engage in sex with Spark, but left it open that she may do so in the future. Detectives were able to identify Rose as Antoinette Rose Napolitano. She's currently in the Pinellas County Jail on a variety of drug charges. We learned that Napolitano first met Spark about 3 years ago through a website that we're all very familiar with, Backpage.com, where Napolitano posted prostitution ads. Spark and Napolitano met several times over the last few years for paid sex. Like Baselli, Napolitano was not represented by Spark, never had been, but he showed up one day at the jail and took her into a private room reserved for attorney-client visits. Spark again duped the system and betrayed a trust. Spark told Napolitano that he was making porn videos of female inmates engaged in sex with him and was using his tablet, the electronic device as a lawyer that he was allowed to bring into the jail, in exchange for placing money in the inmate's commissary account. Between June 2017 and December 2017, Spark met privately with Napolitano and had sex with her in the Pinellas County Jail at least 6 times, including yesterday. The attorney rooms in the jail are private. They don't have audio or video surveillance, and there's only one small window in the door. Spark would stand in front of the door while Napolitano performed oral sex on him, and they attempted vaginal sex at least once. Spark would set the porn scene by filming the female inmate in her jail uniform and filming her inmate ID card. He would then film the jail surroundings while having Napolitano narrate her sexual fantasies in the jail before having her perform the sex acts. Spark told Napolitano he was uploading the videos to a porn website. Late yesterday, detectives received information that Spark was coming to the jail to again meet with Napolitano and film more pornography. This time we wired the room with audio and video and caught Spark in the attorney visitation room with Napolitano as they were about to begin the sex act, and he was fully exposed when detectives entered the room. Spark was arrested and charged with solicitation for prostitution, exposure of sexual organs, and felony introduction of contraband into a jail. He bonded out of jail late last night. Information indicates that Spark has done this with female inmates at the Pinellas County Jail before, and has also done the same at other jails throughout the Tampa Bay area and in Central Florida. Spark may face additional charges as this investigation continues. We work with lawyers and other professionals who visit the jail, and again, there's a trust between us and them, and certainly Spark has betrayed that trust. We carved out an exception regarding electronic devices as we implemented a change earlier this year in banning all electronic devices from the jail. I don't have any current plans to change the procedures regarding attorney visitation, but this certainly raises concerns and may cause us to review certain protocols. As I said, the investigation's ongoing. There may well be additional charges, but that's what we have right now. So, any questions?
Was he seeing just only clients, or would you consider the people that he met with all to be non-clients?
All of them are non-clients. As far as I know, he didn't represent any of these women that he was having contact with. That's why I say he duped the system, because he came in there representing himself as a lawyer, and that he was needing to see them in his capacity as an attorney and representing them. But I don't even know that he did any criminal defense work at all. He may, I don't know, but it looked like, from what I can tell, he was doing a lot of civil stuff. But he came in there, represented himself as someone who was their lawyer, and he wasn't. And, again, betrayed a trust, duped the system, got contact with them, and was paying them to perform these sex acts and doing it in a surreptitious way. And, apparently this has been ongoing for a long time, and not just in the Pinellas County Jail, but in other jails.
Can you mention any of the other jails that he's done this?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that right now because there's an ongoing investigation. I can just tell you that there are jails in the Tampa Bay area and throughout Central Florida. So I'll just limit it to that.
So how would he, obviously the 2 women you mentioned, he had prior knowledge of.
Right.
Is there indication that there were any just strangers?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
And referrals. So is the women engaged him in sex, is that he would refer them to others. We know that at least one of the two women that I referenced here referred him to other women in the jail as well and in other jails, and he would go do them. So it was a word of mouth thing as well. So he was getting referrals, and he would visit them. And I don't know that he approached any of them just cold, but he was not limiting it to people he knew. It was through referrals, and that's how he was making his way around.
And so how did you guys find out about this?
The information we received, somebody gave it up, obviously, and told us about it, and then we began the investigation. But there's something that is sacrosanct about that lawyer-client relationship, and that's why we give great consideration and frankly deference to it. And we allow the lawyers to come in 24/7. We put them in a room. Of course, that room is not monitored electronically. There's no video, there's no audio. There's a door, there's a small window in it. And people who are in jail need to talk to their lawyers, and we respect that. And this is a guy that understood what the privileges were that he had in that capacity, and decided that he was going to exploit that and use it to his advantage, and have all these women do what they were doing. And it sounded like he's got this history, certainly, of engaging in pornography and the pornography business, and he saw this as a way to continue that.
And it says in the probable cause affidavit that there was an undercover agent. So was there an undercover officer involved in this, or?
Well, around yesterday, we knew he was coming yesterday, so we wired it up. So the detectives were right there, and we knew from what we were hearing and seeing within that interview room when he walked in there and he took out his tablet and he began the scene, because he set this up as a scene. I mean, he had this whole thing scripted where it wasn't just, take out the tablet and start filming her engaged in the sex act. It was setting it up with filming her inmate ID in her uniform and the fantasies about the jail, and because he's put it on a porn site, he's creating this porn image. So we knew what was happening. So as soon as he exposed himself, then we stopped it.
Did you find that porn site and videos uploaded to the internet?
Not yet. We're looking. And he has a tablet too, and we are in the process of obtaining a search warrant for the tablet. So once we get into the tablet, hopefully it'll shed a lot more information for us as to what he was doing with the videos, how many there are, the information we need to continue the investigation.
Did he admit to any of this?
No, he wouldn't talk. He said he wanted a lawyer. Go figure. Yeah.
How many other inmates, Pinellas inmates, besides Napolitano, are victims of this? Do you have any idea?
We're not sure. There are others, and that's why the investigation's ongoing. We're continuing.
Selling was nothing, it was just talking.
Yeah, apparently, from what we know, she, again, met him at these porn conventions. She had a history of porn, of course, and what she was sentenced for, very serious charges there. But she says that she didn't engage him in any of this. We didn't find, although we did find with Rose, with Napolitano, is that we do show several deposits into her commissary account from Spark. So everything's consistent there. We don't show any deposits into Baselli's account. What we do know is that he approached her, she considered it, it was all laid out as to what he was doing, but from what I can tell, I don't think that they actually engaged in the sex act, but who knows?
What was he depositing pesos?
Yeah, it was really ridiculously nominal amounts. But when you're in jail, those ridiculously nominal amounts add up, and when you're buying commissary, it means a lot. So we're talking like 30, 40 bucks, that type of amount. Sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more. We're not talking about big sums of money, but when you're in jail and you got nothing and you're looking to buy a candy bar, I guess, it doesn't really matter.
Were some of the facilities federal?
Pardon me?
Were some of the facilities that he was entering federal? They're all state?
No. There are no federal facilities in the Tampa Bay area or in Central Florida. So all the jails in this area are all county jails.
Will there be charges for the inmates coming forward as well?
No, they got enough problems. Yeah. So, all right, thanks, everyone.